Schieb.
This is a cool gift, by the way. Alright, so I'm releasing an album. A lot of you are aware of that. And it's actually releasing in 1 week. On September 14th, it'll be out and about. Mingling, making friends. Yeah, baby. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. Yeah, okay. It's crazy, like, I've spent so long making this that, even when I did the EP, I didn't get to get physical copies made, so I've never been able to hold something I've made before. And, I bawled like a baby. But, it's here. It's coming. So, when I did the EP, I did a video announcing it, and I ran through, with snippets, all the songs on the EP, and, it was really well received. I think people liked that a lot. I know that I would like that a lot if I was watching my favorite artists releasing something, so I figured I will do it again. Accompanied by the nectar that helps you grow. It's been a long time since I made that joke. So the album's called If I'm Being Honest, and it's a concept record, 10 songs long, that kind of flows through a conversation. 3 songs have already been released for it, and 2 of them have nothing to do with the main point of the record. Those 2 songs would be Great and Better Off. Just like in a normal conversation, you know, sometimes you trail off and you'll talk about something else for a second. That's what those 2 songs are. It's me trailing off and talking about something else for a second. But just a couple weeks ago, I released Get It, for free by the way, link down below. And that was the first song to be released that actually talks about the subject matter of the album. And the conversation that the album is about a breakup. And kind of trying to go through some self-discovery on why I feel the way I feel. I didn't make this record to relate to anybody. I was very shocked at how many people really resonated with the 3 songs that are already out, because that wasn't really my goal at all. I just wanted to communicate. So each song is connected together and follows a very, I'd say, important timeline of events that I've put an insane amount of thought into. So this album is meant to be enjoyed in order, but I think I did a pretty good job on making 10 songs that can stand alone on their own anyway. I've always described the album as, if you don't know the story behind it, it's a great album. But if you know the story behind the album, it's a masterpiece. To me, that's my opinion, but I'm very confident in it. So the first song on the record is Shots Fired. So Shots Fired represents kind of the angry part of the breakup, like post-breakup, that immediate sort of resentment you feel. I feel like it's got a lot of great energy to it. It's really smart, I feel. It was the first song to be finished, like, for the record, so the first song to actually fit into that chronological timeline of what the album's even about. Really tried to flex some songwriting muscle here. I wanted to get so much better with lyrics that I kind of, on this record, the whole album, it's kind of overflowing with metaphors and songs that tie together. There's a lot of really gem moments. So in Shots Fired, when you hear the full song, I mention a paper, and a paper is mentioned on 2 or 3 other songs on the record. And that's one of the small, dozens of things that you can find that really ties the whole record together. If you really listen and pay attention for it, I think it's really special. The song features 2 voicemails on it, so that's cool. Second song's called Back to Back, featuring Aaron Burke.
Take me back to the morning sunrise, maybe just one more time. Got a feeling that I wanna get off my chest, but I never seem to say what's on my mind.
I've had Aaron Burke on this channel before. She's a gem of a person, but also an insanely talented vocalist. So when I got the idea to write a duet, she was the first person I thought of. So her part in the song, I wrote it with her in mind. It's a beautiful song. I was scared in terms of the timeline of the songs that I'm giving you all this energy and then I'm kind of halting it because it's like a love ballad. It's a lot lot slower. The whole album's pretty sad. It's probably the closest thing you get on the record to like a love song. On this song, I spent a lot of time focusing on the violins. There's a lot, the violins are doing a lot in the background as soon as they kick in, all over the place, and it's my favorite part of the track, and I really hope that some of you listen for that. I think it'll be really cool. Third song on the record, first single that I released, Great.
Take me down a notch, but you wouldn't like what I have to lose. Oh, baby, you can take it all.
I put this song third on the record because not only did I feel that it was a good break from, you know, you already got like two pretty heavy songs in terms of lyrical engagement and what the vibe of the record is going to be. That's my favorite thing about the record, is that it doesn't really stick to a genre or a vibe at any point, but all these songs sound like they belong together. I feel like I did a really good job at that. Great is just kind of a victory lap, and it's kind of, if I can be like crude about it, it's kind of just my way of saying like, don't fuck with me. I wanted to open the new name and the new brand and the new album with Great, which is why it's the first thing I released. Just to kind of be like, this is what happens when I take music seriously. Because on the EP, I really wasn't. I just was kind of going through the motions, found that I was able to record songs. I was like, what? And then we recorded them and released them. And yeah, this was me saying like, no, when I actually put my all into it, it's going to be pretty spectacular, you know? Song number 4, A While.
Now you mean the world to me, but I don't mean nothing to you. And I've been this way for a while by now.
I wanted to write a song that was kind of like, what if me and the Goo Goo Dolls made a song together? So it's very like 90s acoustic jam. And I knew from the get-go I wanted the song to be very drum-oriented. I wanted the drums to be kind of like sweet, like a real focal point of the song. So I asked Joey Foltrower, who's also been in some videos on my channel, if he would write drums for the whole song. And he did. He went so hard in it, and like I give him so much credit because we go into the studio and he was so nervous because he's never been recorded before, and he does the whole song in like 2 takes. Just crushes it. And so any drum part you hear, he just came with this insanely cool, intricate drum part that I would have not been able to think of in like 100 years. I'm insanely proud of him, and I'm really stoked for you guys to enjoy that on this record. There's also a solo in it. I had never written a solo before, so I was like, I want to write a solo. Almost every single song on the record has something like, I've never done blank, let's try it. So it's been really experimental and really cool for me. Song number 5, baby, is Step on My Toes.
After everything I did, you learned to step on my toes. Step on my toes. After everything I said.
Some of you OGs on the channel might remember forever ago, I uploaded a video titled, Should I Finish This Song? And it was Step on My Toes.
After everything I did, you learned to step on my toes.
This song means a lot to me on the record. It was written pretty much right after my breakup. It was the first song I finished right after my breakup, so there's a lot of emotion in there. And Erin also sings on this song. I was so glad that she did that for me. I had this incredible idea of replacing a piano part that I had wrote with a female vocal. To me, it was a crazy idea. Like, I was like, there's no way that'll really work. It'll be kind of corny. But then we did it, and like, every time that song starts, it gives me chills. It gives me goosebumps. I get really excited at this thing because it's so cool, and it creates its own vibe. And then it just kind of comes in with this sassy lyric like, so you say you had a bad day, well, step in line. Next song on the record is Get It.
Now this might come off as a bit irrational. Take a leap hoping you would catch my fall. And even if one day I give my all, I'll never get it, you know.
This song's already been released, so if you want to hear the full thing, it's already on the channel. This is one of probably my second favorite song on the record. It's so chill, but I'm gonna forewarn you, it has a really theatrical, like, loud ending. I love that about it. It's such a weird song that it's so cool to me. This song is like, I guess all the songs are pretty incredibly personal, but this one takes place like literally like 2 days after the breakup happened. Without getting into too much detail about my horrible experience, but 2 days after my breakup, I went to New York City. And the song begins with me describing what that experience was like, of me just trying to get away from all of this bull and trying to enjoy myself, and it's just not working. At this point, I was kind of obsessing over this breakup, so much to the point that I'm making an album about it, you know, and I had a really close friend of mine say, like, why are you dwelling on it? And in a fit of rage and, like, disgust, because I was struggling with that question for so long, I said, you know, I'll never get it. I'll never know why. So this song revolves completely around that conversation and revolves completely around that mood of defeat. Next song, Better Off. Already been released, baby.
I never had to walk through the fire on my own.
I wanted this song on the record solely because of Hunter's part in it, because the album's called If I'm Being Honest, so all I wanted was unfiltered honesty from start to finish on this record. Before this record, I had a little over 20 songs written total, like ever since I started writing songs, so I was like, what songs of mine are honest? This was before I was going to make it a concept record. And I settled on, I just want Hunter's part, just so I have it. I don't care if everybody else hates this song, I want it so that I can just say I have it, because Hunter means a lot to me. The length of which he put himself out there was incredible to me. And the detail was just so gory, you know? And I loved that about it. Next song, Unhappy.
I've had my days where I'm unhappy, but my eyes pretend that I am fine. I've spent my years feeling unworthy of all your time.
Unhappy is the bummer of the record. It's the end of you and me of the record. Boom. Just like any other song, it's insanely personal, but this one gets really deep into things that I was struggling with at the time. It's like a really personal diary entry. I don't like listening to it in the same room as somebody, because it's like really weird to me. And you'll understand once you hear the full song, but I hope people enjoy it. I kind of hope people don't relate to it, because it's a very sad song, but I'm sure people will, and I guess I'm at least lucky enough to have this gift where I can connect with that and communicate it for people who can't, you know. I don't know. I'm not a hero. I don't know. The song doesn't have a chorus. It doesn't repeat itself at any point, and it's purely a piano ballad. It's very vulnerable. Song number 9, Closure.
Everywhere I go, can't get myself to show on a racetrack to call you anymore. I started running, but the closure ain't enough.
Alright, so what's funny is Closure was recorded almost a whole year before the rest of the record was recorded, because I thought I was just going to release it as a single, because it's a jam. It's a really great song. And so when I've been telling people around here about it, I'm like, Closure's a hidden gem on the record, I feel like it's really going to be a surprising one for a lot of people. So what I did was I took a lot of these ideas from it and changed some ideas in it to make it fit with this narrative, and it really fills that pocket perfectly, you know, because it's the 9th song on the record, so it's almost like we kind of have to wrap things up around here. The last 3 songs connect. If you played them back to back, ideally they should meld into each other and continue, so that's cool. But there's a reason for that. There's 2 trilogies on the record. There's A While, Step on My Toes, and Get It. That's its own trilogy, because they all kind of connect and under the same idea of understanding something. And then it ends with this trilogy of self-identity, I'd say, is like learning a lot of things about myself in a really rapid time. Final song on the record, Ohio, I'll Be Gone.
So I try to find my way through this mess I made to get back to Ohio from the trip you sent me on. And if I don't like how I feel, I don't do enough, I'll get over it.
Ohio is my favorite song on the record. Try to hold the joke of, is it about the weather? I'm over it. Ohio wraps up the whole record, so each song on the record talks about one other song on the album, but Ohio talks about all of them in one way or another. You have to really listen for it and really look for it, because I tried to be really, like, conniving about it, so anybody on my YouTube has the inside scoop. It really is just a song about getting back to your roots, so that's why it's an acoustic song. There is piano and violin in it, because it's a song that represents change while also remaining the same, which is why I wrote it on a guitar. Most other songs on this record written specifically with this concept in mind, I wrote on the piano. But Ohio is written the way I used to write songs, just me and a guitar. It talks about a lot of things that I need to remind myself a lot of the time. That's why it's my favorite. Not only is it a beautiful sounding track, but it's just an identity thing. As I said, it's the end of the trilogy, so it's like really in this moment where I find myself, you know, and I think that's really important. I really hope you guys enjoy it. I'm not that concerned if you don't. I keep trying to have to backpedal on that. It's one of those things where I'm like, if you do, like, fuck yeah. And if you don't, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just glad I made it. I guess it would be kind of a bummer if, like, nobody gave a shit. You know what I mean? As long as you give some level of a shit. Like, give enough of a shit to, like, listen to it. And then if you decide, like, oh, I don't really like it, then at least you tried. And that means a lot to me, too. You know what I mean? But, if you're just like, bleh, whatever, I don't care to listen to this, that's when I'm kind of like, come on, man. Like, huge shout out to Rewire Recording Studio. His name's Scooter. He's just my frickin' man. On this record, I really wanted to flex a lot of musician muscles, so I wrote every instrument on the record, aside from drums, on the majority of the songs. That's a scary thing to do when you do that, because you have this idea of how you want it to go. You've created a whole composition in your head and even on your own computer. But I don't have the savvy to turn that into an actual professional piece of material, so I had to go to him. He was just like the yin to my yang. Like, I knew I had a way that I wanted the record to go, and he just saw that and really turned it into what it is. Like, I could not have done the album without him. I really feel that this is an incredible piece of material, and I don't think it would have gotten to this level of incredible if it wasn't for him. So, an incredible shout out. Also, super shout out to Hunter, Aaron, and Joey for wanting to be on the record. That was incredible. I knew that I'd be able to drag Hunter into it, but, you know, Joey was a busy guy at the time, but he was just nothing but stoked to do it. And Aaron was just a hard worker, and just went in. And there's moments where I feel that she outshines me on my own record, and that's sweet to me. I'm like, heck yeah, do that. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I want these talented people. I want them to be surrounded, and I want to have this thing to hold with my friends on it. I think that's incredible. This thing's been a really cool journey, and a lot of stress, because I've been doing everything on my own. So, like, the least you can do for me, even if you can't buy it, because it will be available everywhere on September 14th, don't forget. Hey. Even if you can't buy it, and you can only stream it, or download it for free, or whatever, like, that's fine, just share it, if you can. If me talking about it this passionately has, like, implored you to buy it, bring that passion to other people. I just want this thing to be spread a lot. Not for the sake of success or anything. I just want to communicate. That's ultimately what I want to do with music, is I just want to communicate. Thank you all so much, especially everybody who's stuck around since the beginning. I know I haven't been very active on this channel, and I know that when I am active on this channel, it's mostly just reacting stuff, which I think is such a cop-out and crappy, but I've just been so stretched thin, and I know that the people who care understand. And September 14th, baby. I'm expecting messages on any of the social platforms that I have. All the links are in the description. Send me messages about your favorite lines or parts, or what you liked about the album, what you didn't like about the album. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation about it. I think that'd be so much fun. I'm very easy to get a hold of, so, and don't ever think you're bothering me. I think it's really cool. I constantly have people like, I'm sorry if I'm annoying you, I just want to tell you how good this is. I'm like, why would that annoy me? You know what I mean? Like, God, I'm like, oh, it's just so annoying when people tell me how amazing I am. Like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like, but anyways, alright, this video's probably been long enough, so I'm gonna rush the goodbye. So goodbye.
You're looking for a high bunch of outro, and you finally know what to say. You just put this little ditty at the end of your video, and it'll all wrap up okay. I'm just singing.